Well, hello guys. We're here. Oh my goodness. Honestly, I don't even know what to say. All I can say is that this has been a long time coming. It's been a very, very long time coming. Um, I've had this idea for a really long time. So the fact that this is actually happening right now is so crazy to me. But let me introduce myself. So, I am Bienvenu, aka B, and this is my brand new podcast. So, welcome to Being B. So, this is the place where we're going to be having conversations. Nothing really is off limit here. I want to create a space for, you know, people to speak their truth, and just talk and have real conversations with real people. And I don't know where this is going to take me. I don't know where we're going to end up with this, but God is at the front of all of this. I think at one point, before I started this actually, I was thinking, oh, do I really want to do this? Is this the right thing? Is it the right time? So many thoughts, so many thoughts. You always think, oh, will this be the right time? But there's never a right time. The right time is to start now. When you have that thing in mind, you've just got to take the steps and go with it. So yeah, I'm gonna try and, do a little bit of housekeeping. Let's sweep the house a little, let's do a little bit of house sweeping, let's jiggle, let's take off the dirt. And let's make sure the house is clean because a clean house also means a fresh mind. So when people actually, live in mess, this is me just going on a bit of a tangent. I just think, how the hell do you work with mess? For me, it doesn't work. But let's sweep the house. So let's do a little bit of housekeeping. So let's get going. Yeah, like I said, this is Being B. We're gonna be on TikTok, Instagram, and also YouTube. I'll be dropping a video every week. So I will, of course, be announcing when the first video will be going live. So do stick around till the very end to find out when we are going live. Yeah, so on TikTok, it's simply Being B podcast. That's both on TikTok and Instagram. Make sure that you also subscribe to the YouTube channel. Yeah, make sure you like, you comment, you subscribe. Let's really, really push this. Like I said, I want to build a community of like just amazing people. You know, I'm amazing. Let's be great. Let's be amazing. It's all about being, you know, whatever. You can be whatever you want, Being B is about being great, being brave, being amazing, being outspoken, just whatever it is, whatever words you want to use there, no, use that. So yeah, I want to build a community of just incredible people, take you along with me on this journey, and let's just do great things together. So I'll remind you again, it is Being B Podcast on TikTok and Instagram, and it's again Being B on YouTube. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Leave a cheeky comment. Why not? Let's chat. I'll see you in the comment section. So yeah, let's get into it. Okay, the first thing I do want to actually talk about is, I guess, maybe introduce myself, tell you about who I am, where I come from, what do I do for a living, and yeah, just give you a little bit of information about who I am, and then we'll also just talk a little bit about why now, why I wanted to start this podcast right now. Why did I think now was the right time? So let's get into it. My name is Bienvenu, which, if you don't know, means welcome in French. But now you do. But you can call me B. We'll be friends. We can be friends. I want this to be interactive. Let's talk. Let's be friends and just go with it. So B it is. And why the name actually? the name being B. Why did I decide? Why did I settle on that? Funny story. I have a very good friend of mine. I think she'll know who she is by the story I'm about to tell. We studied together, and um, she used to always tell me. She used to say, "Oh, B, if you ever did a documentary, you best believe that I'll be tuning in every single damn episode." And she'd always say this. She was like, "B, you know how hilarious you are." And I just sit there and I think, I'm just a normal guy. I'm just a chill guy. And she used to always say this to me, and I'm thinking, oh, she'll just say, "Yeah, B, you should start like a documentary. You should start something because following you, just following what you do, following your life would be hilarious because you don't know how funny you are." And I'm just thinking, I'm not that funny. I'm just me. I'm just me. And then she said, "You should call this being B." And that was the first time that name just stuck to me. And she'd always like mention this very recently as well, just as I was in preparation of like the whole thing. She mentioned it. So when I sat down and I was thinking of names for the podcast, I was thinking, I really don't know what I'm gonna have, but B&B just stuck out. So I want to shout out this friend. I don't actually. She's probably not going to want me to mention her name. I'm not going to mention her name, but she knows who she is. Shout out to you because if it wasn't for you, I would have been struggling for names. I would have been struggling for names. But we're here, and B&B just felt right. It felt right. The vision I had in mind was it just kind of it just fell into place. Everything fell into place, and then when I hear B&B saying it out loud, felt right as well. Seeing it in writing, just everything just connected. The dots were there, everything was aligning, and I said, yes, we're going with it. B&B it is. I'm not going to change it. If anything else comes to mind later on, then yes, but nothing did. That was the only name that kept on sticking to me, and there it is. It's literally as simple as that. There was not much thought process. Well, there was thought process there. But being B, being B, sleeping, all I was dreaming about was being B. I'd wake up, being B. What is it like to be B? Yeah, being B. Yeah, that's the one. Settled, done. And that was it. So we're here. We're live. We're moving forward. I really, really, really believe in this project. I know when I was, setting this up, I call this my passion project. This is my baby. Um, and oh, honestly, yeah, passion project is what I'm calling this. I've it's been a lot. It's been a long time coming again, like I keep saying, but we are definitely here. We're making a start, and it's probably as well just for anybody out there who's got anything in mind they want to start. So whether that's a business, whether you want to do something literally, I don't know, you want to play an instrument, you want to start a blog, a vlog, I don't know, anything you want to start, just make that move, make that step. Of course, plan things. Sometimes some things potentially don't need planning. I don't know, you might agree, you might disagree. But yeah, sometimes some things don't need as much planning, other things do, but make that move, make that first move. And throughout this whole process, that was the thing I learned because I'm such a perfectionist when it comes to anything that I do. Before I do anything, I have to make sure this is right. I have to make sure we've done this, we've done that, that's set. Have we booked this place? Have we done? So there's a lot I always think about, and I'm like, oh, if it's not there, we're not doing it. But we're here, and we're gonna keep moving. I'm still at the start, so please bear with me. There's going to be a lot of mistakes, but with time, it's all going to start falling into place. And who knows, again, what the future holds. We just move forward, we trust God, and we let Him him lead the way. Um, yeah, so that is that section about, yeah, why the name. Um, and now I do want to talk about, yeah, I guess myself, just give you a little bit of background of me. How old am I? Do I disclose that? Maybe not. I think I'll leave that one to myself. You can guess. I'm not old. I'm still quite young. But I won't disclose my age. Do I? No, I don't. We continue. All I say is I'm in my middle 20s. And what a time to be alive. Yeah. And what do I do for work at the moment? So I have 2 degrees, and what am I doing with my degrees? Um, I do want to use them. So I do have 2 law degrees. Um, and I eventually want to qualify as a solicitor. Let me tell you one thing. Come in, listen. Any of my aspiring solicitors out there, if you want to go into law, oh, goodness me. Yeah, you've got to think hard. You've got to think hard about going into law. It's not easy. I am, what is it? What's the word? The word's going. I'm living proof that, becoming a solicitor is not easy. It has always been a dream of mine, and I'm someone who does not give up. Um, I will not give up. I will go till the end. I will get there. Even if I have to knock on 100 doors until that one door opens, I will do that. And that's just part of life. You get rejections, things don't go the way that you want them to go, and that just happens. It's part of being life, part of living, part of life. So yeah, sorry, that's just me going on a bit of a tangent there. Law, yes, 2 law degrees. I'm definitely using them at the moment. I'm looking for legal work. I guess because, like I said, it's not easy. It's definitely not easy. I guess I can also maybe break it down a little bit and just explain what I've done to be able to get to where I am now. So I studied law in at the University of Leicester. Did that for 3 years, just straight LLB law. Did that for 3 years. When was this? Back in 2018, I believe. Yeah, 2018. LLB law, 3 years, finished, done. Graduated. It was COVID times. Didn't go to my graduation, which was quite sad because I started working post COVID, and then this was then yeah in 2021 was when we had graduation. But I at that point it was already a year. No, was it a year later? 2018. My maths isn't mathing right now. 2018, 2021 was when I was meant to graduate, and that was in the middle of COVID. But I was also working. But because I started working, I didn't I couldn't go to graduation. Long story short, I couldn't go to graduation for, personal reasons. And then, as well as that, I kind of didn't feel like I wanted to go because I was working. Money got involved. Money was good. Um, and I just, yeah, that's that. Anyways, 2021 graduated, and when I graduated, normally, how the UK the schooling system works is you do your 3 years undergraduate degree. Sometimes it could be four if you do like I don't know, um, like vocational year or something or year abroad. Um, this is just your standard um, undergraduate degrees. The word's just gone right out of my head. Yeah, so you do that 3 years unless you're studying like medicine or dentistry, then that's like 5 years. Yeah, once you do that, you would then go on to do what we call, I guess, a master's degree, which will be the legal practice course that we call here in the UK the LPC. You do your 3 years undergraduate, you do your masters, the LPC, and then that's normally 1 year full time or 2 years part time. But what I decided to do when I'd graduated from university was to take time out because, like I said, I was working at the time. I decided to take time out and kind of, I don't know, because I wasn't ready. I didn't feel like I was ready to go straight into the legal practice course. So I took some time out. Initially, it was a year out that I wanted to take to go traveling, and that didn't happen because it was in the middle of COVID. Um, Things just took a wrong turn. Again, the money. I keep going back to money. The money was good. I was working. I was getting paid really well, and I said, "Ugh, if I go traveling now, I'm probably not going to enjoy it because of the COVID restrictions. Why don't I just continue to work, save up a little bit more, and then I might potentially, maybe the last 3 months of my year, my gap year, I can go traveling then." Guess what, guys? That didn't happen because that 1 year gap year turned into 2 years. So there I was, still working for 2 years. I hadn't gone back to do my master's degree, and I'm thinking, "Ugh," at this point, I was like, do I really want to do this? Is this really what I want to do? And it still was what I wanted to do. I still wanted to eventually, qualify because I've only gone and done 3 years and I did not want that to go to waste. So after the 2 years, again, I had this incredible friend. I think all my friends are amazing. Having such a supportive system, that's all my friends and family as well, actually. A system that encourages you, supports you, and are always there for you is really, really important. And I definitely felt supported, by all my friends and family. But yeah, I spoke to this a close friend of mine, and she would always encourage me. And this woman is yeah, she's one of a kind, is all I can say. But she'd always be like, okay. So at the end of my first year again, this is my year out. She was like, so B, when are you going back to uni? Like, you're not gonna just sit there, are you? Have you changed your mind? I was like, yeah, I'll be going back. No, don't worry. I've not changed my mind. It's still what I want to do. I'll be going back. It's like, okay. And then now going into my second year of the time out that I decided to take before doing my master's. In second year, and she's like, B, the LPC, it's waiting. What's happening? Like, are you doing the applications because you'd have to apply? And I said, oh, I really do want to, but I'm scared because bearing in mind, she'd already been through this because she went straight into doing this. So she'd always give me advice. So I would hear about the stress that you'd go through. And she would say, I remember we had this one conversation. And I asked her very honestly, I said, would you recommend doing the LPC? Even though she would encourage me to go for it because that's what I wanted to do. So if it wasn't what I wanted to do, she wouldn't be encouraging. Um, so I asked her this one question. I said, honestly, would you recommend doing the LPC? She was like, B, if I'm being honest, absolutely not. I heard that and I said, great. She said, absolutely not. But then after saying that, she went, I wouldn't recommend it if you know that becoming a solicitor is not what you eventually want to do in the future. Because there's so many other ways you can go about, qualifying, and there's so many other things you can do. So you don't want to go waste your time, go in debt as well. You've already done the undergraduate, you're already in debt, go into more debt, unless you're absolutely sure that being a solicitor is what you want to eventually do. So I was like, okay, I appreciate the honesty. But yeah, so I knew what it was like for her. And then we got to the end of the second year of my gap year. I said, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to go for it. And I'll just have to deal with it when I'm there. So I did. I sent my applications in and I got my offer. Okay, so it was official. September, you start in the LPC and we go. And then I did decide to do it full time. And let me tell you what, If you've already done the LPC, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It is not a joke. The LPC is not a joke. So if you're wanting to go into this, please always bear in mind that you're paying a lot of money and you don't want to go there if you're unsure whether you want to become a solicitor or not. Because again, there are other ways you can always go about that. But also, actually, I do want to add a little bit a disclaimer. It has actually changed. The route to qualification has changed. So there is a new way to qualify. So it's not the LPC anymore. It's the SQE. So you do SQE one and two. I don't know exactly how it works, but anyone who does have any questions, I'm happy, to speak. You can always DM me, message me, email in. I do know how it works. I know people who are studying the SQE as well, and who have studied the SQE. I've just done the LPC, so I'm very much clued up on that. So if you do have any questions, send me a DM, leave a comment down below. Also, email in. I will provide you with an email address. You can email any inquiries you've got to our email. Yeah, so I'll move forward a little bit. Done the LPC. We thank God. We've done it. It's finished. That's 2 degrees in the bag. And that is something for me that is such an achievement. It hasn't been easy, but we're here. We've made it. And all I can do is thank God for bringing me this far. Honestly, if it wasn't, of course, yes, I've got my friends, I've got my family, who were there always encouraging me. There were times where I was stressed, things wouldn't go well. You do some exams, it wouldn't go well, and you're walking out and you just feel like that's it. I can't do this anymore. Um, yeah, a lot apart from, of course, my friends and family. I think the people who I went through with this, so my friends who were there with me every step of the way, the ones who I studied with, know exactly what it feels like. I think it's difficult explaining this to someone who hasn't gone through it, but when you go through it with people who are also studying that course with you, it's like a comfort, as well, like a little comfort blanket to help you keep going. And honestly, I thank God, I praise God for allowing me to finally complete my degree. We now look forward, still on the road to qualify as a solicitor. That does not end here. Um, I know that is the next step. It's only the beginning. Yes, it's difficult. You apply, you send applications here and there. Like I was saying before, I will knock on 100 doors, but I know there'll be that one door that will, of course, accept me. They will give me that opportunity, and I will be able to qualify. I believe that it's going to happen, and God's timing is always the right time. And I know when my time is my time, God will allow that to happen. So that is that about myself. I do also want to talk about why I started this. Yeah, it's quite simple actually. I don't think there's a lot really to say about why I wanted to start a podcast. It's more so that I just love to chat. You know, I want to speak to people. I want to create a space for people to feel safe and just speak their truth. Come in here, just say whatever you want. You know, you can say as much as you want, as little as you want. I want to also be able to speak my truth, take you along with me, and allow you to just see, get to know who I am, and let's know. Let's take this somewhere. I have so many great things in mind for this project. This is my passion project. This is my baby. You're going to be hearing this a lot, but we we really want this to be a success. When before I started this, I really prayed, and I said to God, I said, this is something that I want to do. If it's the one, you're going to allow this to go to places. You're going to allow this to reach people who, can be touched, who can tune in and just take something. I want people to take something from this, and I hope that in the future, and I hope from now moving forward, and any guests that we do have on, which is something I do eventually want to incorporate in this whole project. I want to have guests here. I want to speak to interesting people who can tell their stories. Normal people, just normal people, entrepreneurs, and I want business owners as well. So like, there's nothing is off limit, and I just want us to embark on this journey together. Let's take this somewhere. Let's grow as a community, and let's just do great things together. But yeah, put it quite simply, again, me going on a tangent, which you're going to see and hear a lot of. I'm going to be going off topic a lot, but let me just bring myself back in. Yeah, to put it quite simply, the reason I wanted to start this podcast was to have interesting conversations with people who can just speak their truth and just be themselves. And that's pretty much it. What else is there to say? Yeah, I do want you to, yeah, just stay tuned. Keep an eye out on all the socials. This is all very new to me. So, like I said, we're going to get used to it, and we're going to have even more interesting conversations, from hot topics, what's going on in the world right now, potentially touching on, faith as well. Certain things that we're going to be talking about. There's so many things that we'll touch on, and let's see where this takes us. I hope you can stick around for this journey. You know, if you are here right now, you are the OGs. You're my OGs. I want in 5 years' time, I want to go back to this. I want to go back to this. We'll have some conversations in the comments. Where are my OGs at? Where are you all at? Show up. But yeah, you are the one. I don't know. We're gonna think of a name as well. I don't know what I'm gonna call you guys. You might even help me think of a name. Being B. You can be the baddest. You can be the greatest. You can be, oh, I don't know. You can throw some things at me in the comments again. Let's chat. Let's have conversations. Just give me some names. What do you want to call yourselves? Maybe. We'll think about that. Um, so to close this first episode, this was just an introductory episode. To close, I just kind of, yeah, want to say, please do follow me on my social media. You can follow me. You can follow the podcast at Being B Podcast. That is on TikTok and Instagram. Also on YouTube, Being B the podcast. If you type in BB, it will come up. Just yeah, follow along. And what else? What else is there to say? I think that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, the email address. I will actually link all of this in the description box as well, so you will be able to see all the handles there. It will be in my bio. The email address is beingthepodcast@gmail.com. So eventually, once we start adding more dynamics to the podcast, you can start writing and emailing. We may have dilemmas, so many things. There's a lot. All I can see is there's a lot I've got in mind for this. And I pray that God, assists and takes us to levels. It's up, 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 all the way up from here. Yes, of course, we are going to have challenges. There'll be times where things don't go right, but we can do this. So that's it. Thank you so much for tuning in. We've made it to the end. And I will be seeing you in 2 weeks' time for episode 2. And we are going to, yeah, essentially continue what we've started here. Of course, as things start to roll, we start to get into the meat and we start picking things controversial. No, not over here. Not controversial. Oh, we'll see. But we're gonna have real conversations, honest conversations. So tune in 2 weeks' time for another episode of Being B. Over and out. Bye, guys.